When I put the desk back, it ended up in a better spot.
Oh, no.
Oh, at the window. Okay. All right, so had a center of 3, -7, and a radius of 6. How would I write the equation of the circle? Yes.
X minus 30 squared plus y plus 7 and then
Equals. Uh-huh. And 6 squared is 36. Okay.
So would we write 36 or would we write 6 squared?
You would write 36.
So we get points off if we do 6 squared.
I would say minus 1/2, 36.
Would we do the square, like that thing, whatever we're trying to find?
So if this said equals 100 and they said what's the radius, then you would square root that and you'd say, oh, the square root of that number is the radius. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and do one where we have to complete the square. So let's say they gave you the problem and they said x squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 16y plus 3 equals 0, and they said find the standard form for the equation of the circle. So this form is called the general conic form. You'll learn that more in pre-cal. But this is the standard form for the equation of the circle. So what do we do with that? You can look back at your other notes. It's 2 and example 5 are the times you did it in your other notes. Example 2 and 5 are the ones that are going to help you feel a little bit better about this. So what should we do first? Yeah, move the 3 over so we can do that. Okay. What else should we do?
Put them together.
Yeah, so put what together?
The x's and the y.
Yeah, so we're going to do x squared minus 8x. I'll go ahead and leave the blank because we're kind of used to that blank. And then we'll have y squared plus 16y, and we have the blank, and then equals -3. Okay? And then, do you guys remember how we figure out what goes in the blank? Yeah. Yeah, we have to take the number divided by 2. You guys remember that? Ringing a bell? -8 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2, so this is -4. But that's not the number that we use. Square it, okay. So -4 squared is 16. That's the number that goes in the blank. Put 16 in there. But if we added 16 to the left side of the equation, what should we do to the right side of the equation? Also add 16 over there. Okay, and in the video notes, I was circling that. I do not have pink. Do I have? Oh, I have pink. I was circling that number. When I divided by 2, I was circling this in pink. Okay, because that number is important. We're going to come back to that in a little bit. Okay, 16. I divide that by 2. What do I get? 8. Okay, and then I take the 8 and I square it, and I get 64, and that goes right here, so that completes the square. And if I add 64 to the left side of the equation, what else should I do? I should add it to the right side of the equation as well. Okay, and then let's circle that in pink. Okay, so I have done the completing the square process. I've made sure that I added it on the left side of the equation. I added it on the right side of the equation for the x's. I added it on the left side of the equation. I added it on the right side of the equation for the y's. And now I'm going to say that I have something squared plus something squared equals something. Yeah, x minus 4. So the number I got when I divided by 2, this number is what goes in the parentheses. X minus 4. And then what else? Y plus 8. Okay, y plus 8 equals, what do I have over here? 77? Okay. So there's the standard form of the equation of the circle. That's all they asked for. That's all they wanted was the equation. What if they had wanted the center? What is it? Yeah, Madison. Okay. What if they had wanted the radius? Square root of 77. Okay. Okay, good. How did we feel about that? That was okay? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let's say that they gave us 2 points and that these points are endpoints of the diameter. Endpoints of the diameter. And so one of the points is going to be 5, negative 6. And one of the points is going to be negative 13, comma 4. Okay. So these 2 points are going to be endpoints of the diameter. So they're on one edge of the circle, they're on the other edge of the circle, they're endpoints of the diameter. What are we going to do with them first? So if we had a picture of this, there's the diameter, these are endpoints of the diameter. What could they be useful for helping me find? The center. The center. Okay, so think through it. If you have 2 endpoints of the diameter, how could you find the center? Split them in half. Does that make sense? Split them in half. So how do you typically find the middle of numbers? How do you find the middle of numbers? Add them together, divide by 2, right? That's exactly what we do to find the middle of 2 points. We add them together, we divide by 2. So we're going to add our x's together, divide by 2. We're going to add our y's together, divide by 2. Okay? Add the x's together, divide by 2. Add the y's together, divide by 2. So our center is 5 plus negative 13, divide by 2. That's our x coordinate for the center. And then the y's, add together, divide by 2. Add together, divide by 2. So what is 5 plus negative 13 divided by 2? Okay. And then negative 6 plus 4 divided by 2. Okay. All right, so let's start writing the equation. This is a comma. Oh, this is a comma. Yeah. Okay. So how do I start writing my equation? Okay. All right. Does anybody remember what do we do to get the r squared?
Well, no, I remember this.
So these are the h and the k, right? H and k. What are these? What letters are they? X and Y. So I can plug this in for X and Y, or I can plug this in for X and Y. Which one do you want to use? The first point or the second point? First point. Okay, so we're going to plug in the 5 for X. We're going to do 5 plus 4 squared. We're going to plug in negative 6 for Y. Negative 6 plus 1 squared. So when I plug in all the numbers, it's going to give me an output that is a number, and the output that it gives me is going to be R squared. Okay? It's just going to spit it out. Did you guys need this literally yesterday? So you're saying you should have watched your notes before you came to class yesterday, or before you came to school yesterday. Oh, that's very terrible. Okay, so we're typing this in. See that? So you have x plus h squared, and then y plus k squared. Everyone see that? X plus h, y plus k. So the hk is the center, the x and the y is the point that they gave you, which is an endpoint of the diameter, which happens to be a point on the circle. See how we're using that? So we have an x and a y, we have an h and a k. Okay, now when I press enter, it's going to give me r squared. Whenever I plug the center in and a point on the circle in at the same time, it's going to spit out the r squared. I'm not going to do it because I'm not your calculator. You are your calculator. That's right, I heard nobody clicking. So get to clicking, you lazy students. I'm going to press enter off screen because I'm curious to know what this answer is. Oh, that's a very interesting answer I just saw off screen. Huh? I'm not about fast, I'm about learning. What an interesting answer. I bet everybody else is wondering, aren't they? What interesting answer is it? Who knows? Those of us who typed it in. 106. All right. There we go. There's our equation. Okay, how do your brains feel? Okay. Are there other problems on the notes sheet where you felt like, I would like to see another one of those? Number 9, number 10?
Would you leave it like that, or would you do it the X and Y?
So you would leave it like this because this is what an equation looks like.
Okay.
They don't usually have the x and the y filled in.
Yeah.
I filled them in so I could find the r squared, but normally they leave the variables there. Yeah. All right. Any other examples you would like to see before you start the scavenger hunt? The Bitmojis are on point today. I edited every single one. I edited every single Bitmoji. That's how much time I had on my hands 2 years ago. Yeah, I made this activity 2 years ago. Clearly I was not having headaches then, because I had time to edit every single Bitmoji. You do, I just wrote on top of them on Word and saved it. Yes, Court. Court, are you going to come back? Are you going to skip out and go to work? You throw up a hand like I was crazy for asking, when in reality, have you skipped class for work recently? Yes. So was it a crazy question? I feel like it was a reasonable question, Court. I mean, yeah, no, I'm just saying. It was a reasonable question. I don't know if that makes me feel better. Court, are you going to stay for the entirety of class today, all the way till 3:30? Okay. All right, so we're feeling like we're ready for the scavenger hunt. You can start anywhere. The world is your oyster, and by the world I mean this classroom. Take the toilet seat.